We do still have lots of questions after 3 people died on Lake Pepin over the weekend. Maria Lisignoli joins us now to bring us up to speed. Maria?
Still a lot we're working to learn after a day on the water turned deadly. Search and rescue teams have recovered the bodies of 3 missing boaters from Lake Pepin. The Pepin County Sheriff in Wisconsin says 6 adults were on a pontoon around 10:45 Saturday night when a 911 call came in. First responders found the pontoon flipped upside down.
Search and rescue boats went into the water and found 3 people clinging to an overturned pontoon boat. They were brought to shore by those first responders. At that point in time, they were treated medically, and they reported to first responders that there was 3 other members of their party that the first responders did not see initially.
The county sheriff says investigators believe the pontoon collided with a barge on the river. Right now, the names of the people who were found dead have not been released. The Wisconsin DNR is investigating this boat crash.
Right. I mean, this is just so sad here. But again, Lake Pepin, part of the Mississippi River, so barges do come down through that area. All right. We'll continue to follow it. Maria, thank you.
Something else we're continuing to follow: wildfires in northern Minnesota and Canada they've led to the closure of nearly a quarter of the Boundary Waters Canoe Area wilderness. On Saturday, the U.S. Forest Service closed 225,000 acres, and as of 7:30 last night, officials reported 20 fires actively burning. That's in Superior National Forest. 5 of those are in the BWCA. The largest of those fires is actually 2 that combined, they're now burning 700 acres.
Now, these fires and ones that are burning over the international border, they've resulted in evacuations and the closure of multiple trails and entry points. Officials up in St. Louis County have also implemented the Ready, Set, Go notification system if residents living up there do need to evacuate. Meanwhile, the Minnesota DNR is leading response on 5 other fires in the same area.
And amid the fight against the Northland wildfires, Governor Walz has declared a peacetime emergency. In a statement, he says this emergency declaration allows for the mobilization of additional resources necessary to protect lives, prevent damage, and help the Minnesota DNR and our local communities respond.
And we, of course, will continue to cover the very latest on these Northland wildfires right here on WCCO News.
Fighting between the U.S. and Iran, that is ramping up again this morning. Increased strikes comes as Iran now threatens to not hold up its end of the framework for peace if the U.S. does not uphold its commitments.
CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more on this back and forth between the 2 countries.
The fight for control of the Strait of Hormuz is escalating. U.S. forces launched more strikes on Iran Sunday after hitting 140 targets Saturday, according to the Pentagon. Bahrain, Jordan, and Kuwait say they were engaging enemy fire early Monday as Iran's Revolutionary Guard confirmed it sent another barrage of missiles and drones at American bases in neighboring countries. So far, the Pentagon has said there have been no casualties or major damage. The latest back and forth began after Iran struck a commercial vessel in the Strait Saturday. Now Iran says the key waterway is closed, though President Trump told NBC News the opposite Sunday.
It's open. We bombed the hell out of them last night.
This all follows crisis talks in Oman Saturday.
They agreed to a deal yesterday, a perfect deal for us. No nuclear, no this, no that, no nothing. They gave up everything. And then after that, they left the room. And then within an hour, they launched a drone at a ship. I said, you people are sick.
Retired General Frank McKenzie, former head of U.S. Central Command, says the U.S. has the capabilities to take control of the strait.
It would require putting warships up into narrow waters. Look, the U.S. Navy doesn't love to do that, but they're very good at it.
Iran has not confirmed any new agreement and says the latest round of U.S. attacks have, quote, rendered futile the last few months of diplomatic efforts. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The United Nations Secretary General is urging both sides to return to the negotiating table, saying in a statement, quote, a return to full-scale hostilities would have catastrophic consequences.
It's 6:07. We do want to give you a live look this morning from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Flags there and across the country, I should say. They are at half staff this morning. This is in honor of longtime South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. He died suddenly Saturday, according to his office, at the age of 71. Spokespeople confirmed that his death was the result of aortic dissection. The senator had been just in Ukraine on Friday. Bipartisan tributes continue to pour in his memory. That includes Minnesota Republican and GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer, who took to social media to share his condolences, saying Graham was, quote, a strong defender of our conservative values and cared deeply about our strength, safety, and security of the United States. He will be missed, end quote. And Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar said it was a shock to learn her friend Lindsey Graham has died. She had worked with Graham over the years on many issues. In a statement, she said, quote, he was a man who loved his work, his country, and his family, end quote, adding it is fitting that he died shortly after visiting Ukraine, one of those causes he would stand up for through thick and thin.
After a few weeks of speculation about his health, longtime Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell gave an update on Sunday. He posted a photo right here, this one, and a lengthy caption. This was on social media. And he says in it that he took a fall last month, but added that he did not break any bones or suffer from a concussion. Senator McConnell adding that he was able to move out of the hospital and into a rehabilitation center. He wrapped up his message by saying that he has unfinished business to complete and intends to finish the job that he was elected to do.